start recording. Okay, recording in progress. Right, so the first thing I wanted to do today was actually to give the opportunity to people to come and either both say hi and introduce themselves to the group. I mean, everybody knows themselves in here. Or maybe what I really want is to know what happened last week. How did you go with the foundation goal tracker maybe, or your new habit? Or did you set any boundary? Or did you manage to do the chosen action? Anything? Who's the brave one?
Oh, I didn't have a lot of with the boundary thing, so that was okay. And also, like, I'm already really focused on my nutrition, on my water, on my sleep. I think in the position that I am right now in my life is that I already was like focusing on that. So I have that part, I had that covered.
Good.
So yeah.
What about the action for your goal? Did you decide into any action?
The action for my goal is that I already had like this big agenda with things I needed to do, and which is where I want to end up, kind of. And I think I started off really intense, a little bit too fast. So it was very overwhelming, and I think I was very tired and I had a blockage. So I became very sick yesterday, like Sunday, Monday, and I was like, whoa, okay, I need to slow down a little bit.
Yeah. So your body's talking to you, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's nothing wrong. I'm doing very healthy, but it's just like, if there's so much going on in your head and you want something, it's just like, you have a time limit. So I'm not, how can I say it? It's like, okay, Sally, just slow down. I have only you, and you need to be good. You need to be good in shape whatever is coming. So that goal is, we're doing 6 weeks. So why I want to do now everything in 1 week. So that's.
But that is exciting in a way.
Yeah. It is, but at the same time, it's like there's a reason that you get guidance, because if not, then every time you start, you get overwhelmed and you stop.
Exactly. So we were talking last week was basically about that, like try not to go too large on your goal. Try to make it in a small chunks. Otherwise you get overwhelmed and you go right away into ineffective. Instead of being really effective and being with a little bit of a stress and being productive and effective, if you go too much, you get burnt out, and then it goes directly into ineffective. So we have to be very careful on how we set up the pace.
Exactly.
And it's okay to go slow. It is okay. It's healthy. Anybody else? Anybody brave that want to come and say what happened last week? Beth, we don't hear you. Beth, you need to activate your...
Because I have my son sick at home and he's mama. So I prefer to mute. I don't feel very comfy when I speak English because I can understand 100%, but it's a long time I don't speak English. So I try to spot myself more. So same day we had the session, I went to Decathlon and I bought a elliptical because I'm trying to go to gym, but I just going to Pilates twice weekly because I don't have time. I'm working, I'm mom, so I realized that it was better to have something at home. And yeah, I'm using it every day. I'm trying to watch something nice in the television, a series or something like that to try to do it. And yeah, I feel me better and I lose weight because I'm on diet as well, and I'm drinking too much water as well, at least 2 liters per day. And yeah, that's it.
Good, very happy.
That was my goal, and yeah.
You're getting there. Fabulous, fabulous. That's very reassuring. Anybody else? We have Cynthia, we have Lisa or Krista, or we just can crack on. If you want to put any comments at any time, if you don't really feel like talking live, you can pop any comments in the chat, and then I'll just read them later. Okay. So we're gonna go directly into our first our first exercise of the day. So this is going to call the life balance exercise, okay? So what I want you to take is just a pen and paper, and I'm going to show you what do we need to do. Let's put it in here. So we need to write stress, drivers, and soothe, okay? Like that. So you can actually write things underneath. So stress, drivers, and soothe. So to understand the three headings, basically what stress means, and maybe you resonate more with anxiety, is anything that you have in your life right now that is activating your sympathetic nervous system. Okay, what do I mean by that? It's basically what makes you feel on edge and anxious or precious or under threat. You feel afraid, and this danger can be real or unreal. So maybe from the past or maybe from the future. So they're just giving you negative thoughts, okay? So what is happening in your life right now that is giving you that sensation? That is what stress means on the first heading. The second one is drivers. Drivers are your passions. Anything that really moves you in the morning, whatever excites you, something that you're looking forward to do, a dinner with friends, or maybe going to the movies, or traveling, a project that you have right now that loves you so much. So anything that makes you truly, truly happy every day and keeps you going in your life. That is what really drives you and motivates you. So that's in the second column. And the third one is soothe, and it stands for anything in life that calms you, okay? This is what is activating your parasympathetic system. It's when you rest, digest, restore, and feel at peace and calm, okay? And this is exactly where you heal. So it's your healing station, as the way I like to call it. So now that we know the three headings, what I want you to do very quickly is to think about how much time are you spending in your life on those three headings, okay? How big those three headings are in your life right now. And you make a bubble underneath. Let me just write it for you. So like if I'm feeling extremely stressed at the moment, like most of my time I'm under edge and under stress, I'll make like a big bubble, okay? Just like that. And then if I don't really feel right now that I'm anything that is driving me, like there's not so many things that are driving me at the moment, then maybe my bubble is going to be slightly smaller, okay? And then if I definitely don't know how to soothe myself, and I don't do anything that soothes myself, like meditation or calming, or like a walk on the beach, anything that calms me normally, if I'm not doing anything at all at the moment, then maybe my circle is going to be very small, okay? So think about that, and then just do that. But again, there's no right or wrong here. This is for your self-awareness. You know how important is self-awareness for you. Okay. So when you're done, what I want you to do now is to write, okay, inside the bubble, the list of the things that right now gives you or provoke you the stress, the drivers, or the soothing, okay? All the things that are happening right now in your life that is provoking you this. So whatever you're doing to drive yourself, whatever you're doing to calm or soothe yourself, and whatever is stressing you out, you just write down the list inside your bubble. I see everybody writing. So anybody wants to have a comment about how that balance feels right now for them with the 3 bubbles, now that you work a little bit on it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my first bubble is very big. The drive is smaller and the shoot is smaller.
Okay.
So something
How do
like
you feel? How do you feel about
you
that?
design before, more or less.
Okay. Is that surprising you?
No.
Okay.
For me, it's weird, if I can interrupt. For me, it's weird because I feel like I have 3 big bubbles. I think in my situation, which I will share here, is that because it's also the stress, it's because of the basic needs. It's like a home, a job, a new life, everything. So I think it's just stress. But at the same time, I'm full-time with the drivers and I'm full-time scheduling, like soothing. Okay. So for me, it's like it's kind of same, because the one is like helping the other, kind of. Okay. So I feel like I'm a little bit like it's
almost balanced.
Yeah, almost all balanced. 3 is there because I kind of need it, because it's like the primary needs in my life. That's why it's not like I need to lose weight, or it's literally like my primal needs in my life. So that's why I'm stressed, but I'm driving and I'm on it. Yeah. Like, but I'm also trying to keep sane. So that's why I have like.
Be careful with that, actually, because sometimes what we have in our bubbles is something we call the crossovers. Okay.
Yeah.
So a crossover is when you write things on your drivers.
Yeah.
But actually, they are in your stress as well. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like your son, like my son.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes you really need to be careful on that, and you need to be very brave of taking it out of your drivers and put it on the stress, and learn how to deal with it, to be able to be fully on your driver or on your soothe.
This is kind of what's happening with me and on my list, that I didn't really know which bubble to put certain things.
Exactly. So it's very popular because like work can be super rewarding if you really like what you do, but at the same time, it can give you a huge amount of stress, or even your partner, you know, your boyfriend, your whatever. It could be someone that it really makes you happy, but at the same time can cause you a huge amount of stress depending on the relation that you do have. So sometimes we need to be, you know, looking inside ourselves. There's nothing wrong with it. So you can put your partner on the
my stress bubble became bigger.
Mine is normally on the stress bubble.
Yeah.
Because it made me learn how to deal with it. I know something is causing me stress, so I can actually address that stress and put a solution. Because if I put it on my driver bubble, I will never be able to see it fully what is happening there. So do not feel bad about that, like moving things around, because it's for our self-awareness at the end of the day. Okay, this is teaching us how to deal with things in a much better way. Okay, so what we're going to do, the next step, unless someone wants to say anything else, the next step is you're going to choose one bubble out of the drive or the soothe, okay? Because I want you to make it bigger in your life right now. So something that you need to make even bigger right now, like if you need more soothing or if you need more drivers, right? If you're lacking on motivation and passion in your life right now, then you should be choosing drivers. But if you really need to focus on calming activities because your mind is racing and you feel like, you know, you're always on edge, then you might want to go into soothe, okay? And now what you're going to do is, once you choose your bubble, the one that you're going to be making bigger, outside that bubble, I want you to write another list of the things that have either soothed you or drive you in the past. So things that you know that work in the past, but you're not doing at the moment, okay? Or maybe things that there are other people are doing, like, I don't know, like I've seen these people doing Tai Chi in the park, and I love doing it. So, and I know it works, but I've never done it, but I know it could be a possibility, okay? Or maybe I was doing yoga for so many years and I haven't done it for years as well. So I know that would be my soothe bubble, although I'm not doing it at the moment. So basically all the things that you know that they do work for you as a driver or as a calming activity, but you are not doing it anymore for whatever the reason, doesn't matter. Okay. Right, so yeah, we can do more things with more time, but for now, I want you to have a look at your chosen bubble, so soothe the drivers, and compare how many items do you have inside the bubble and how many items do you have outside the bubble. And I just compare what are you doing at the moment and what more could you be doing at the moment. So it's a huge difference. It's no difference at all. It's bigger inside, it's bigger outside. You want to put it on the chat so we can actually see it. To me, is my bubble is a lot smaller than outside. Like my bubble have 3 items on soothing, but then outside I have 7 items. So how is it for you? You just put it on the chat if you want to, so I can read the comments. Or if you want to come live, whatever.
If you don't mind, I'm just going to talk because I cannot find the chat right now. I'm on the phone and it's a bit messy. But what I can see is that I have very few items within my bubble and quite a lot outside, like the new bubble.
Okay, good. Anybody the same, feeling the same? Yeah, okay. So there is another possibility, actually. Some people truly don't know many other things that can make them happy or calmer, okay, or more passionate about their life. Maybe they've never been exposed to self-care techniques, or maybe they haven't really paid much attention to their passion because they've been concentrated on, I don't know, like work or being a mom or something like that. So this is a great opportunity for you to try new things, to be outside of your comfort zone. Try activities that you know that your friends are doing, or you know, you see people having so much fun or calming activities, and then you go and try those things. So because until we don't try, we don't really know what it spark our passion and how it's going to make us feel. Okay, so I think it's very important to be aware of trying new things, being out of your comfort zone. It could be a very, very rewarding activity. And what this exercise is proving you right now is that you know how to activate that part of your life, right? So you know how to make that bubble bigger, but you don't do it. You unconsciously are choosing not to do your bubble bigger. And why would you choose not to be happier or calmer? So the answer actually is a real reflection on what we call, and you probably know this, self-sabotage, okay? It's not that you don't know the tools, and it's not that you don't have them. There is a part of you that actually say no, to use these tools. So you're saying yes to have a smaller bubble. And what you're doing here, you're ignoring your needs for wellness, okay, for your drivers and your calm activities in your life. So maybe this is a perfect time to talk about inner critic and self-sabotage. But if you want to make any comments before we go, or an activity before, or shall we just go? Just give me a thumbs up if you want to, like, go ahead with inner critic, or if someone wants anything to comment. No? Okay. So inner critic, I'm sure you heard about this before, but the most important thing about inner critic, guys, is you were not born with it, okay? It is not true, and it's not you. So I want you to remember that little mantra when you feel your inner critic is approaching, right? It's not me, and it's not true. My voice in my head is not me, and it's not true. So if you were not born with it, and it's not you, where is this negative voice inside your head coming from? So our inner critic develops over the years, and is telling us negative things about ourselves, okay? And trying to be hurtful, basically. Why? To stop us doing something, to protect us from harm. But it's actually not helpful at all. So the inner critic usually starts in our childhood years when we are hearing negative things or not very helpful comments from other people. Okay, maybe a childhood bully, okay? Everybody knows a little childhood bully who pick up you for any stupid reason. Or maybe you hear some very harsh comment from a teacher, a very unprofessional teacher, maybe someone who spotlight you on class at a time that you were not feeling great. Or maybe you felt you were bullied at that time. Sometimes it comes from our parents, okay? And if they use too much criticism or comparison with other siblings, or maybe friends around you, even neighbors, so you will be feeling that you were not enough at that point in your life, okay? So your parents were making clear that you were not enough at that part of your life. Or maybe you didn't hear any of this directly, okay? You didn't really have this directly to you. Maybe it was basically you were exposed to someone very important for you, probably very influential to you, who would make those comments all the time when you were around. So let's say having a mom obsessed with healthy food, okay? Like an unhealthy obsession with healthy food and diet, someone very obsessed with being extremely thin and beautiful, and always talking about, in a very negative way, okay? Talking about how much sugar there is here, how much sugar is there, this is damaging for you, and basically judging the other moms because they don't care about the children, and sugar is poison, intelligent people do not eat sugar, la 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 la. So maybe you were exposed to someone like that, okay? And basically, these things are part of that person's narrative, not your narrative. But it's also how we develop an inner critic, okay? Someone around us who's having those thoughts, and we model or we copy that people's self-narrative unconsciously. Is that all clear till now? Yeah? Right. So a very hard thing to know is, how do I know when my inner critic is telling me that I can't do anything, that I'm not good enough, that I'm not thin enough, maybe brave enough, something that I should not be doing, or it's just my voice of reason being realistic in my life? Like, no, you're not going to be able to finish that project. Is that my inner critic, or is my voice of reason saying, you know, you're not prepared, or, you know, for anything? Okay, so to realize if it's your inner critic, which again is not you and it's not your thought, the best thing to do is to watch and tune in your emotions. Okay, how do we do that? Well, you know what is an emotion? An emotion is basically a physical vibration in your body that is a result of a thought. It's just that an image in your head that is causing you a vibration in your body. Okay, that's like scientifically how we explain an emotion. And every time that you feel that vibration, negative vibration coming from your insecurity maybe, or your anxiety, maybe that sense of comparison with other people, this is the first alarm that is not your voice of reason, okay? Because your voice of reason does not give you negative vibrations. It's only giving you a direction maybe, or a hint on how to do something. But if you start feeling really bad about something, like, oh my God, I can't do it, you know, I'm not good enough, and feel that anxiety inside your body, that is not your voice of reason. It's your inner critic, and it's not you again. So there's a few ways to recognize that voice. I'm going to give you 5 if you want to take some notes, because I'm not going to be sending that. But I mean, you don't have to either. They're very, very simple. It's kind of like very reasonable. So the first of them to recognize your inner critic is because the voice that you hear critiques you harshly, like very, very harshly. If you hear a voice saying things that you would never say to another person, that's the inner critic. Let's say you are so fat, you better hide in a hole. You would never say that to someone. So that is your inner critic. So if you feel like you have no control over this voice in your head, more like it's inside your head, but you know you haven't created, kind of like invading your thinking, and it's not reflecting your real thoughts. If you feel that, that's your inner critic. It's not your voice of reason. The third one is like a broken record, okay, inside your head. Like repeats and repeats and repeats something non-stop, and then you feel super overwhelmed with the same thought over and over and over. That is actually your inner critic. I will never make it, I will never make it, I will never make it. This is too hard, this is too hard, this is too hard. I'm weak, I'm weak, I'm weak. I'm not enough, I'm not enough, I'm not enough, okay? That is basically your inner critic. It's like inside your head, damaging you. That is not your voice of reason. The fourth one is you have a thought in your mind, you know it's irrational, you know it's not true, but the thought refuses to leave your head. It's still there, okay? And that is your inner critic. I'm ugly, I am so ugly, oh my God, I'm so ugly, no one is gonna ever look at my face, I will never get a boyfriend, I'm just an ugly person, I'm just so ugly. You know it's not true. You know you're a horrible person, you know you're not ugly, but you keep saying that into your head. You know that's the inner critic. Again, it's not your voice, and it's not you. And finally, the fifth one, which is actually very annoying, it's a very annoying characteristic of your inner critic, and it's while it's trying to sabotage your efforts to progress, to do something, it's also giving you arguments about what is in your best interest, okay? So let me clarify this point. The inner critic tries to make you do something, saying that is good for you, and then it's going to criticize you for that. So let's say I'm on a diet. I've been great for a week, okay? Go on, have a donut. It's no big deal. You know, you deserve it. You've been amazing all week with the diet. You lost a couple of kilos already. You're going to feel great. You deserve it. And sprinkles on top of it. It's going to be good. You lost a lot of weight already. No one is going to notice. You ate a small, tiny donut. And then go ahead. I have it. So you have the donut, maybe 2. And then you see you ate it. You have no self-control. This is so embarrassing. You were doing so good for the whole week and now you're gone, and then you have that donut. You always do the same. You will never be able to make anything on your life. La 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 la. Okay. Does it ring a bell? Does it happen with you with any other things? That is the inner critic. Okay. Till now, any doubts, any questions, any clarification?
Actually, I was kind of shocked when you mentioned that one of the reasons that could, provoke this inner critic during childhood was this mom, really healthy mom, with, focused on not eating any sugar. And that's basically me.
Yeah.
So I remember having said to my daughter, "No, there's too much sugar in it. Don't eat it." And okay, now I feel very bad, and I'm trying not to say anything like that. I mean, it's
not to feel bad. Sorry.
No, but it's the fact that I had like a very fat mom, and I don't want to become that. I want to be healthier, and not for being fat, but for being healthier, basically.
Sure.
And yeah, I'm probably too focused on that.
Okay.
So I should. You have me figuring out that I wasn't doing very great. I mean,
that's good. So
okay.
it's self-awareness. It's basically that, self-awareness. And then it's good that you're trying to be healthy. It's good that you're trying for your daughter to be healthy. But we need to be careful on the messages we're sending across to them because they're tiny. And they're very, very, at that time, between 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 years old, the messages they're hearing from us, if they are not helpful messages, they could be their future inner critic. So if you say, let's be helpful, that's fine. Let's be healthy. It's, yesterday I was talking about broccoli for half an hour with my own daughter, basically, how amazing broccoli is. But I don't want to give her any negativity about the way she eats. Like she eats a donut. I try because she does. I try not to use, you're going to get fat. This is horrible for you.
No, that's something I don't do, but I've mentioned, oh, there's a lot of sugar in it, or there's a lot of salt in it. No, I don't use the words fat.
And it's fine.
Some parents say, oh my God, your thighs are so fat. Look at those, those thighs, those cheeks. I try to tell them, don't do any comment about her physical appearance, please don't. But the fact that I use those words, it, as you said, is self-awareness that I didn't have before. Hearing you saying that.
Good.
So thanks.
Okay. So we can carry on.
One question, please, because I was listening to you about the inner critic, and it kind of hit me that for me, it seems that it's all I hear. Is there any way to shut it up?
Exactly my question. Exactly.
We're going there.
Because that's probably all I mean, I was taking notes on the 5 ways to identify your inner critic. And I know that you said that it's not me, but I do kind of have the sensation that it's all the time me.
Exactly.
I mean, like we start saying the lesson before, the first session, everything is about practice. Okay, just because you know a concept, if you don't practice on it, if you don't really work on it, it's not gonna make you any good. So with the inner critic, if you don't do things that we're going to say now, like a couple of tiny exercises of just being very, very aware of listening to your voice and keep telling you, it's not me, it's not me, it's not my voice. I heard this when I was 5 years old and it's not me. If you don't keep saying that to yourself, then you're not going to make any progress towards it. Okay, so we need to imagine this has been in your head probably for, I don't know, like 25 years. Imagine. So it's very difficult to erase that thought of your mind, like just because you know it's not you. So it needs work. It's like the habits, you need practice and it's repetition. So you have to keep telling yourself, you need to keep grabbing those thoughts that are coming through your mind. And the first thing that you need to say is not me. I didn't say that to myself. This is not me. I'm going to work on it. Okay. So that's going to leave us directly into what can we do to start with to stop this inner critic giving us so much grief and blocking our life. Okay. Let's change. Right. So what we're going to use right now is what I like to think is a very powerful technique that is called externalize the inner critic voice. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to write right now, all of you, you're going to write a phrase or a statement, like a couple of phrases maybe. But instead of that, you know is inner critic, okay? But it's instead of talking to yourself, it's going to be from I to you, okay? Just write the statement that you know is your inner critic. So it's how you hear things on your head, and then just write down something that you know is your inner critic, and we're going to make an exercise. I hope you have longer because we are really slow today. So I hope you don't mind if it's going to be longer, the session. We still have quite a bit to go. So what I want you to first is to visualize a little figure or a cartoon, you know, anything, you know, that be popular, a little devil over your shoulder that they keep talking to you, that is nagging and gramping at you. Okay, I want you to imagine something similar, something that it works for you. That is actually your inner critic. Okay, you can even give it a name. So you will see that it's easier to argue back to that animal, to that cartoon in front of you, than arguing with your own self. Okay, so if you need to tell that little cartoon to shut up, it's easier to make that person or that cartoon shut up than to tell yourself to shut up. Okay, that is one very good thing to make your inner critic stop, because like mine, for example, I use like a Gollum, okay, this horrible cartoon, and it's telling me maybe should I stay in my comfort zone, because every time that I get out of my comfort zone, I go into failure. Okay, so I imagine this little Gollum giving me a lot of crap, and then to me it's easier to tell the Gollum to shut up and then just concentrate on something else than basically telling me to myself that I shouldn't be saying those things to me. Because for my self-preservation instinct, we will never do that. You know, I'm not going to fight with my own self, but I don't mind to fight with a little devil or with a Gollum. Okay, so it's very powerful to actually create a creature or a cartoon and give them a name, and that is going to be your inner critic from now on. And you really need to use it, because when you start getting all these thoughts in your head, just imagine you have that devil or whatever. I have a friend who used to call him Bob the douchebag. And then Bob the douchebag is coming, and then you start fighting him like, you know, shut up. You're not helping right now. Like, you know, I hear what you're saying, but this is not helping me. And it's not you, and it is not my own thoughts, okay? And it's easy to imagine that you're talking to that thing instead of talking to your own self, because we're not going to fight with ourselves, right? So what we're going to do right now with that sentence that you wrote, I want you to rewrite that sentence. Instead of like, I am a bad mother, for example, I want you to put it with a you. You are a bad mother, okay? So whatever you wrote, that it means I to you, I want you to transform into you. And I want you to say it to me, okay? So I want you to say, Pilar, you and then you give me your statement. Okay, you need to come to life and say it to me, to my face. Whatever you wrote there, you need to say Pilar, you, and then you tell me your statement, okay? So I'm ready.
I go first? I go first, yeah?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so look at you now. What did you do to end up like this?
Okay. Who else?
Ow.
You have to say Pilar. No one? I need someone else to tell me their statement with a you.
Then I'll go second.
Okay.
Actually, I did write it with a you, like talking to myself as a you. I don't know if that means anything. So, Pilar, you're not doing anything to move forward.
Okay.
That's my statement.
Okay. Path, anything to tell me?
I was talking before, but I'm in mute. Yeah, something like that. Like you cannot do it alone, or
No,
you are not.
no. Talk to me. Look at my
Pilar,
face.
Pilar, you are not enough brave. You can do it by yourself.
Okay. Okay, good. So basically, what I want you to realize is how confronting this is, okay? When you change the I, the way that you feel, into you to someone else, actually, it's very confronting. And this is not the way we speak to people normally, okay? This is not the way that we care and we talk to our friends. This is not the way that you would talk to me. So this is not the way that we actually talk to people who want who we want to help. But this is the way that we speak to ourselves, okay? Think about that again, like this is the way that you speak to yourself, but you will never use that kind of word to speak to someone that you really want to help. So the reason why we do this exercise is for you to have a reflection point, two reflection points. The first one is you need to see that by using you, so by keep doing this exercise and changing to you, externalizing, it makes easier for you to see that is someone else's thought. It's not your thought, okay? If you say to me, you are not brave enough, I realize that actually I'm a brave person. If someone else is telling me that I'm not brave enough, I am brave. I prove myself many times that I'm brave. I might be nervous today, I might feeling a bit insecure, but I'm brave. So someone else is telling me that I'm not brave. So it's a very, very important way for you to change it from I to you. And the second part is basically to realize that how confronting this is, okay? When we say to ourselves, I mean, when you were telling me the couple of things, actually, I know it wasn't me, but I feel a bit hurt. You know, like, oops, okay, something came into my stomach. Like, you know, I don't like that phrase. So I feel a bit of discomfort. So imagine when you say to someone else, like how confronting it is. But when we say to ourselves, like I'm a bad mother, because I'm not spending enough time with my daughter, because I send her to school 9 hours a day and I should be with her. And I want her to be 9 hours. So it's like I'm a bad mother because I don't feel any remorse. Basically, when I'm saying that to myself, I don't feel painful anymore. Why? Because we are numb to pain, to physical pain. And that's why we don't feel guilty when we talk to ourselves in such a horrible way, okay? Because if we were feeling guilty and hurt, like, oh, that hurts, you know, I'm a bad mother. Why doesn't it hurt me? Because I'm numb to pain right now. Right? Does it make sense?
Yeah, well, for me is I like Krista already said, I'm already saying like it's you.
Okay.
So the thing is what she I guess also for you is that I know it's not true, but she's always there and I just want her to, and I already named her. And then I'm like, oh, there she is again. But literally, like, I need to find more ways to shut her up.
Yeah.
Because I know it's stupid, and saying it even, like, it's so dumb to say that to you, like, and then it's already like, it's all, yeah, it's just like, oh, I had enough. Like, can she just leave? Like, it's like this nonstop having someone here telling you blah, blah, blah.
So one of the reasons is because we are not confronting that voice, okay? We're just accepting it.
Yeah.
We might know it's not irrational, but we are accepting it because we're letting it stay there, okay?
So it's true that if you say things out loud that you are worth it, like the things like in the mirror and stuff, that is helping you, like, reprogram.
Yeah, exactly. But this is basically saying, because this narrative that we have inside our head, and we're not doing anything about it, we might know that it's not true, but we are accepting it. But we are not catching that thought. We're not focusing on that thought, and we're not challenging it. We're just accepting it as the truth. So I'm going to teach you right now is another technique to actually stop that inner critic. When you start hearing that inside your head, whatever it's saying to you, what we did last week, I want you to stop, okay? Ground yourself, like we did with the feet on the floor. You ground yourself. You totally stop whatever you're doing. And then you do a couple of really deep breaths. You know that you need to go into activate your parasympathetic system. So you promote the calm inside you. 3 breaths normally goes very well. And then you say, okay, what am I thinking now? And then you find that thought, okay? Let's say for me, okay, I cannot keep any of my promises. That keeps in my head, right? I'm a bad mother, I cannot keep any of my promises. Okay. Now that you have that thought, you ask yourself, would I say this to someone else? Would I say to someone, you know what, you can't keep any of your promises, you're a disaster? I wouldn't say that to anybody else, okay? Because that is not encouraging. If I want someone to keep their promises, I'm not going to say that. I'm not trying to be compassionate. I'm not saying, I'm not criticizing, just to demotivate that person. And the third one is we will rewrite that sentence. Like I said to myself, I can't keep any promises. I will rewrite that sentence with compassion in a way that is going to help me and not demotivate me. For example, I would say, well, actually, I give my best to keep all my promises. I plan my goals and my actions, and I work really hard for them. Sometimes I'm success, and sometimes I don't success. Okay, so it's a different way. Like I'm compassionate with myself. Like I'm not beating myself up. I can't keep any of my promises. You need to talk to yourself with compassion. But finally, what we do is what we call giving yourself a self-hug. And I think this is a very beautiful technique. And basically, if I say to myself, I can't keep any promises, my last self-hug to me, like this, it would be, okay, where do I feel that is hurting when I say, you can't keep any promises, Pilar? Actually, it hurts like in my heart. Okay, so I put my hands in my chest, and then I'll catch that feeling, okay? When it hurts, I catch it. And I'm starting to confront and challenge that thought. I say, okay, I catch you now. I see you, and I don't like you. I don't like this thought. And you do not deserve to be spoken like this. I love you. You try really, really hard in your life. No one knows how much you tried and how much you suffered already, but I see it. And I appreciate your efforts so much. And I see them every day. I'm going to work harder in saying nice things to you, to encourage you, and trying to be supportive and kinder instead of beating you up and sabotage your efforts and your motivation. Okay? This is a self-hug. How was that for you? Do you think you can try? Not now, but you think you can try?
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, it works. But you need to do the.
I really.
Sorry. Yeah, go, please.
I'm just kind of gathering tears in my eyes because honestly, I really, truly don't know how to do that.
Okay. And you know I can teach you.
It would be lovely.
I can teach you. No worries. We can.
Right, I'm still kind of trying to think about things and trying to draw a line. Where does being realistic begins and beating myself up starts? You know, it's kind of a thin line.
It's going to be outside your comfort zone, okay? Everybody's comfort zone. If you're not used to, or if you've never done it, like I've never done it before, when I started doing all these exercises, if you've never done it before, it's going to feel uncomfortable and it's going to feel weird and it's going to feel out of your comfort zone. But again, habits and learning in humans is by repetition and by being consistent. So once you make it yourself, when you make that practice something part of your life, then it will come unconsciously to you, and then you will understand how positive it is. So just by catching the thought and not allowing it to be in your head bothering you, you're addressing that thought, okay? You're addressing it. You're saying, I know you're here. I'm going to talk to you now. And then you give that self-hug because you need the reassurance to yourself that it's not your thought. And you need to rechange it in a compassionate way. One day I don't have time today. Oh my God, it's so late. I don't have time today, but probably another day I'm going to be talking to you about when I basically came from being a very scientific minded and then going into a spiritual journey and how that changed for me. And I'm still, a very scientific oriented person, but I embrace another ways to do things, okay? But now what I want you to do now is actually grab your self-narrative, the one that you wrote last week, remember, from your homework? If you have it, if you don't have it, no big deal. You can use the one that you just wrote right now, the one that they I and you, okay? So whatever you have handy. And then what I want you to do is to underline any critic, any inner critic that you see in that self-narrative, okay? Just underline if you have any really strong words or like the first sentence, basically, if you say anything that is actually hurting, that it feels like your inner critic, just underline with a pen. What we're going to do now, we're going to rewrite. I'm going to teach you how to rewrite those thoughts, those hurtful thoughts that are not yours, remember, how to rewrite them to be helpful. So we're going to use three main concepts. The first one is compassion, the second one, gratitude, and the third one, factual language. So with compassion, basically, you just need to think that you're talking to someone else, like a friend with a lot of compassion. And what would you say to that friend to stop hurting herself with that language, okay? So if I say something like, I'm a bad mom, how would I say that to a friend of mine with compassion? You're not a bad man. You're doing your best. You have to be patient. You're really getting there. Okay, use compassion for that. If I use gratitude, I hate my legs. They're super big. I always look fat on leggings. I really hate my legs. Gratefulness would be, you know what, but I'm grateful for my legs because actually they're giving me a lot of strength and they allow me to be stronger than most of my friends. I can hike higher, but not with my bum, but yes, with my legs. And actually I'm very strong on doing workouts. And I'm grateful for that because if I have like a couple of skinny legs, probably I wouldn't be this strong and it wouldn't be that good for me anyway, okay? And then the third one, if you don't like the other ones or they're easy for you, just use facts. Okay, imagine someone has a very horrible acne on their face, and you keep talking, you know, these disgusting pimples I have in my face, they're disgusting, you know, it's horrible, which is very for teenagers, actually, they suffer a lot on that time. But if you use factual language, you take all the negative away. Like, I have a hormonal disorder. That's it. You know, I have a hormonal disorder. That's it. There's no negativity. I'm not giving bad feelings already about the phrase. Okay. So let's see if you can use that and rewrite even one phrase that you keep saying to yourself. And you can use gratitude or compassion or just a factual language. And if anybody wants to share. If anybody needs some help.
So it's about rephrasing what you said before.
Your inner critic sentence, the one that you wrote last week,
Yeah.
or the one that you just wrote this morning, whatever phrase you keep saying to yourself that you know is your inner critic, I want you to rewrite it with compassion or gratitude or just factual language, to change it, to reframe it in a way that is helping you and that is not hurting you. Anybody okay? Anybody wants to share any challenges, maybe? Need any help? Are you okay to carry on? Did you manage to change the narrative? Maybe you, Beth? And Cynthia? Did you manage to change the narrative?
Not really.
You don't have to read it. Could you manage, or you didn't? To change the narrative. Was it hard for you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was hard. I don't know how to change it. It's something that it's a belief. It's something that I didn't realize. I'm quite sure that I won't be a good teacher for many reasons. So it's something I should work on with my formation. Basically, it's a mixture of voice of, as you said, voice of reason and inner critic. So it's a mixture of the two things. So I need to work on that before changing and change it in a positive way.
I mean, that sounds to me, honestly, and I know you a little bit, that sounds to me a little bit of self-sabotage in there, which is basically It's just the fear of failure, okay? And that is superhuman. So basically, by just being, your brain is trying to keep you safe. We said that in the first lesson, right? So the job of our brain is to keep us safe all the time. So if you think, if you are nervous, if you're a bit low on confidence, that you're going to be a good teacher in the future, but keep saying yourself, I'm not going to be a good teacher, it's just a fear of failure. And that is sabotaging basically your efforts to go towards that. And yes, you can work on it. It's just a limiting belief. Limiting belief and your inner critic just talking to you and trying to sabotage of your efforts. Stay in your zone of comfort, a move, a try, just stay there, because nothing is going to happen there.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's going to hurt you. Nothing is going to happen. But you know what? By staying in that zone of comfort, then really nothing is going to happen, because you will never go out and pursue your dreams. Things only happen out of your zone of comfort. You don't need to be extremely comfortable. You just need to be a little bit pushed to be out there. And your brain wants you to be comfortable, and it's telling you, don't move, don't go anywhere. You're going to die otherwise. Stay here. That is self-sabotage basically. But again, it's something you can work on easy with practice and consistency, okay? Right, so if you're okay, it's been 1 hour already, but I will love a bit like 20 minutes late. But if you like to, if you have another 15 minutes for me, I would like to do a little self-compassion exercise that I love so much. And it's kind of like inner child work. You know that we all have an inner child in ourselves. If we look at transactional analysis, TA, which is beautiful to study, actually, they say that we have like 3 ego states in ourselves, right? We have the parent, the adult, and the child. Some of those ego childs has been wounded at some point in our life. But I like to think about the inner child like something that stretches in our lifespan, or that is always with us, okay? And maybe at 40, maybe at 30, your child needs some help and some support on that time of the life, okay? Because we always have an inner child on us that needs to be nurtured and supported. So we're going to do first, we're going to do like a little relaxation and a visualization work, okay? So if you're ready, I want you to sit comfortable in your seat. I'm just gonna meet you all. So sit comfortable. I want you to either close your eyes or look down on your knees. If you don't feel comfortable with the camera, you can bring it down, but I mean, I prefer to see you, but it's really up to you. So I just want you to close your eyes or look down so you won't get distracted. And I want you to take a few deep belly breaths. You can actually put your hand on your belly if you want to feel it. So go really deep, inhale. And then exhale. Feeling your belly is getting full of air. And then go. And keep breathing. And now that we're here in this session, you're on your own space at home, sitting in front of your device. You're feeling the seat in your body. You have your eye closed, and you're going to start relaxing just by hearing my voice. I want you to concentrate on your breath. Keep inhaling deeply, taking all that calm inside of you, and exhale slowly, releasing tension you don't need in your body. And while you keep breathing, let's scan your body for any tension to be released. So pay attention to your eyes and release any tension there. Then go down to your cheeks, to your lips, and totally relax them. Feel how your face is going down, it's getting totally relaxed. Feel the air coming through your nostrils. Feel your shoulders, how they just go down. Feel your arms, how heavy they feel right now. And keep breathing. Every time you breathe in, there's calm inside yourself. And you're exhaling all the tension. Just go down to your legs, to your calves. And keep relaxing. Keep breathing. Feel your feet, relax them, relax your toes. And just embrace that sensation of being relaxed and calm. And let go all the tension. Keep breathing. And go deeper and deeper into a relaxed state. Because you're going to a safe place. You are in your sacred space at the moment. This is a luxury time for you. This is your own healing station. You are healing your body by relaxing every part of it. And this is a gift for yourself. It's a secret place to feel good and calm and healthy and happy. Because your unconscious mind is wandering in this relaxed space. No tension, no bothering thoughts. And now that you're getting even more relaxed, I want to visualize yourself as a child. It can be a teenager, or maybe yourself at any moment when you experience discomfort or stress. But I want you to visualize that past version of you in a hard time, in the moment you were going through a hard time. And now that you have that image of a past you, I also want you to picture yourself in the present time, as you are now. But you are this incredibly compassionate and loving and kind person. You have this kindness in the look of your face. Please imagine yourself looking at someone else with so much love and understanding and kindness that you want to protect and care her with all your heart. And now imagine a beautiful and warm light around you. And you visualize this compassionate and warm version of yourself. And she's walking towards your past version, the one that is suffering, the one that is having a hard time. And now imagine both of them getting closer, and how your compassionate you bends down and gives this little past you the most beautiful hug that is possible to give, transmitting all the love and care and wishes of protection and understanding and support. You're giving this little child reassurance and care. You keep wrapping this child in your arms and look at her face. and ask her what she needs. Lovingly, maybe touching her chin, maybe touching her cheek. You ask her, what do you need? And now listen and wait for what comes up. What do you need? What can I do for you? How can I help you? And you listen to her and you say, okay, I hear you. I'm here now. You're safe. You're not alone. You need to tell her that you do not judge her at all. Nothing from the past will be judged. There's nothing to feel shame about. There's nothing to regret. There's nothing to feel bad about. You need to hug her again and give her all your warmth and tell her, I'm here for you. I got you. You're safe. I'm here now. There's no more suffering. And we are going to be okay. You will see. We are going to be okay. Everything is going to be great for us. And now I'm going to give you a few mantras that you can repeat in your head if you want, while you're talking to this past version of you. I was doing the best I could at that time with what I knew. You can tell the small one, you were doing the best you could. You tried with all your heart to do your best, and know you did it. I was always being worthy of love, respect, and belonging. I can repair myself now by allowing my self-compassion to come. I'm speaking to myself with kindness, and I'm meeting my own needs. I can set and respect my boundaries. I can protect my past version and myself now. And I'm allowed to have fun and be silly and play games and embrace my inner child. And now, imagine you give her a last massive hug, really, really, really tight. And you pass her all this warm and light, because she's safe now and not alone anymore. And little by little, you start directing your attention back to your breathing. You feel the air coming in and out of your lungs again, and your belly. You feel your feet in the ground. Maybe move your toes a little bit. You start feeling your knees. You feel your necks. You feel your waist, how it's holding your back and your shoulders and your arms. You feel your hair at the back of your neck. And gently, whenever you are ready, you start opening your eyes again to here and now. And you're safe and you're okay. How was that for you? Did you enjoy it? Yeah? I don't know. Let me just Get your, I think. I don't know how, I cannot unmute you. You need to unmute yourself if you want to say anything. Okay, Beth. How was Cynthia? Did you like that meditation?
Yeah, I got really emotional. I wasn't really aware of how still some things hurts from my childhood. So yeah,
It's my favorite one. Every time that I do it, I keep crying, and then when I do it to people, to my one-to-one clients, I start crying as well. So it's very emotional. It's very emotional because I think we all need to look into our inner child in the past and do a lot of healing. And this is all connected. What I was trying to say about the inner critic, when I'm saying it's not you. It's not you. People planted those thoughts in your mind. They're not yours. You were just 5, 6 years old when someone told you you were not enough, and it's just not you. And you carry on with those thoughts until, you know, you are a grown-up woman, and it's just not you. It was not you who said that. Okay?
yeah.
And Zelda, anything?
I can't talk.
Beth, do you like that one?
I didn't, go through because I have my child
Okay.
here,
No worries.
the nanny as well. So was not. I have to try again. I tried
You can watch the
to be
replay.
focused, but was impossible.
You can watch the replay. I mean, the replay is for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I thought that.
Anytime.
Yeah, I will do it again. So when I was deeper with my own child, that's impossible. You cannot do it on a mute.
Well, for me, I can talk. Yay! For me as well, I think this was one of the best kind of meditations, or how you can say it. I was very emotional, exactly like Cynthia. I didn't know there was something that was blocking me, which I saw very clearly, and which also helps me with what I'm telling myself. And I want to thank you for that.
My pleasure. It's absolutely wonderful. And I said, this is one of the most powerful for me as well. Like I do it very often, and it's every time I just keep healing and healing and healing myself, and you feel much better.
I will be listening to this for sure. I was thinking that I need to hear this at least once a week or every few days. Thank you so much.
No worries. So what I'm going to be sending you anyway, because we are at the end of the session, I still have to do a little bit of theory, but I think we're going to skip that one because then it's good to change that, to finish now with this warm feeling. But I want you to do a couple of things for next week. Basically, the first one, your intention is going to be to treat yourself. I'm going to be sending you this by email, but I know that some of you don't read email. So I'm going to be sending you, I want you to treat yourself for the entire week the same way that you would treat a vulnerable child, okay? If you see a small child that is in a vulnerable situation, if they were hungry, you would feed them, right? And if they ask you for a drink, you will give them a sip of water. And if they're really tired, you will not allow them to watch Netflix. You will put them in bed so they can have a nice rest. And if they are stressed, you will calm them and you will protect them and will reassure them that it's going to be okay. So I want all of you to treat yourself this week like if you were a vulnerable child, or at least to try, okay? And the second one, I want you to rewrite again the full self-narrative, right? The one that you wrote last week, or if you didn't, then maybe you can do it this week. So you write from the self-critic, the way that you actually speak to yourself. And now I want you to do it with the compassion and the gratitude, or factual language, whatever comes easier for you. So rewrite the full self-narrative. And then we'll look into that next week. I will send you as well like a journal prompt in case you want to do some journaling. I will send you another journal prompt like last week. And I will send you an article about the inner critic. What is the inner critic? And some techniques about it. And the mantras that we just did with the inner child, okay? Just like a 10 or 15 mantras that you can actually talk to your inner child. And next week, we're going to be talking about anxiety and the stress response. At the beginning of the lesson, we're going to be very, very theoretical, but I want you to understand what's going on in your brain, exactly what's going on in your brain and in your body, to understand that anxiety is normal, okay? I want you to understand how to normalize the stigma of being anxious or having panic attacks. There's nothing wrong with you. It's perfectly normal because your body is prepared for that. It's actually keeping you safe, right? But we need to go down to basics to understand the brain and the nervous system for you to be fully aware of what's going on in your body when you feel very anxious or with a panic attack. We're going to be talking a little bit about core beliefs. So something that Cynthia mentioned before, like some of your limiting beliefs and some unhelpful thinking styles like catastrophic style or mind reader, which is very typical of all of us. And then we will do like a fun exercise called the octopus. And I'm not going to say anything about it, but it's going to be good. It's very eye-opening. Okay?
Okay.
Good. So I'm going to be sending the email with the replay and all these things that I told you. And I really hope you enjoy the second session. And I'll see you all next week. Send me an email, anything you need, okay? Feedback, whatever. Like, I'm here the whole week, just trying to be supportive and help you if you need anything with the exercise, please. Okay?
Have a good week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Have a very good week.
Bye.
Bye.